My brother kept borrowing my lawn equipment and never returning it, so I started charging him a rental fee with a late invoice. So my brother Marcus lives about 8 minutes away, which he treats like a free equipment rental service with unlimited credit and no return policy. It started maybe 2 years ago when his riding mower broke down mid-season. He texted asking to borrow mine, said he'd have it back in a few days. Fine. I said sure. He kept it for nearly 3 weeks and returned it with a deck caked in dried grass clippings and one tire sitting noticeably low. I didn't push back. Brothers, right. These things happen. Except then it kept happening. The edger, the leaf blower, the pressure washer. Each time framed like a one-time emergency, my edger just quit. I need to do the gutters real quick, but real quick always stretched into weeks. I'd go out to the garage to grab something and it wasn't there, and I'd have to text him to even find out he had it. He'd say he'd bring it by and then not bring it by, and I'd have to text again. I finally said something about 11 months ago. Told him I needed him to at least fill the tank when he returned things and give me a heads up so I wasn't blindsided. He said absolutely no problem, completely reasonable, and then didn't do any of it. The thing that actually pushed me over the edge was last September. My in-laws were coming up for a long weekend and I needed to do the whole yard. I walked out to the garage and the mower wasn't there. Marcus had grabbed it 10 days earlier for his fall cleanup and just hadn't mentioned when he planned to bring it back. I texted and he said he'd be by that afternoon. He wasn't. I called around 6 p.m. and it went to voicemail. I ended up knocking on my neighbor Dave's door and asking to borrow his mower, which was embarrassing enough that Dave asked if everything was okay. Marcus dropped mine off the next morning with a cracked belt cover. Said it like a footnote on his way back to his truck. Oh yeah, I might have caught a root or something. No offer to replace it. No real apology. Just the information delivered and left with me. I fixed the belt cover myself. $42. That's when I made the spreadsheet. I went back through 2 years of texts and reconstructed every loan I could document. Dates out, dates returned. Which equipment? I pulled up Home Depot's rental rates. The mower runs about $85 a day. Edger's $40. Pressure washer is $75, and I applied them conservatively. I only counted days I had a record for, so I was almost certainly undercounting. The total came out to $1,340. I added a 15% late fee since all of it was technically overdue, and I put together a proper invoice. Name and address in the header, line items, due date, the whole thing. I emailed it to him on a Tuesday morning. He called 11 minutes later. What is this? An invoice. Equipment rentals? About 2 years worth. Are you serious right now? Yeah. I kept meaning to bring this up in person, and it kept not happening, so I figured I'd put it in writing. He said I was charging him to borrow stuff from his own brother. I said I was charging him the going rate, which was actually lower than the hardware store, since I wasn't billing for gas or wear. You could have just said something. I did say something. About 11 months ago, I asked you to fill the tank when you returned things. You said sure and then didn't. He asked if I actually expected him to pay $1,500. I said I expected him to understand what 2 years of free equipment usage looked like when you put it on paper, and that if he wanted to keep borrowing things going forward, we'd agree on a rate up front. He'd return everything on time and clean, and he'd cover anything that broke. He hung up. My mom called about an hour later. He'd gotten to her first, which I fully expected. She said I was making things weird over lawnmowers and nickel and diming family. I told her I had $13 documented plus a belt cover I paid for out of pocket, and Marcus was welcome to call it whatever he wanted. You're not actually going to make him pay that. I haven't decided, but the invoice stays open. She ran through the usual family helps family. He's had a rough year. I have more than he does. I said I wasn't asking for anything I hadn't already been giving for free for 2 years. Marcus texted me that afternoon, said the invoice was a power move and I could keep my equipment to myself from now on. I wrote back that worked fine for me and that the invoice would remain outstanding either way. He hasn't set foot in my garage in 6 weeks.